Our big problem. It's somewhat audacious to suggest that I do know what our big problem is because we have several problems that we face as we live in this world. But Paul names one of the big ones in Romans 1:21. And he's been talking about how God has revealed divine holiness, majesty, wonder, and attributes of divinity throughout history to human beings so that they will at least know that there is something beyond themselves, something unexplainable, something they cannot control, something they cannot manipulate, something that is wholly other. And yet, human beings have responded not with gratitude, not with awe, not with wonder, not with worship, but have found lesser ways to practice their acknowledgement of divinity only to the point where they can control what they define as divine, thus making images of people and animals and inanimate objects, saying, "These are our gods," and then picking them up and carrying them with them and declaring them to be their own personal or tribal gods that they can manipulate. And then treating their fellow human beings with a lack of dignity and respect, the kind of respect that comes from reverence for that which is other than us. And Paul says, because when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. We've often looked at those who distorted views of life or distorted, despicable behavior and have made the declaration they have a dark heart. But we fail to see the darkness in our own hearts that stems from that lack of reverence and respect, that lack of gratitude that is a poison in our system. Today, I invite you and I invite myself to pause and acknowledge that there is a power greater than ourselves. We declare that power to be God, that person to be God, and to consider the possibility that that God actually knows you and knows me and cares about you and cares about me and cares about how we treat each other and cares about us knowing God and trusting God and believing in God and seeking God. That was a huge part of the message of Jesus to us, to call us to a renewed and new relationship with the Father through grace and faith and trust and radical discipleship. It is radical because it is not commonly practiced among us, and yet it is the heart desire that is planted within us. Pause and consider. Amen.